to you today. Wanted to talk about a topic that some people are going to find very amusing. And that's right, you see the title, Why Business Credit is Magical Money. And I always say that I am the voice of truth and wisdom when it comes to the business funding and business credit space. And that's why I think this topic is so important about it being magical money. So, if you're new to me and you don't know who I am, I'm not new to the conversation of credit. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have over 500 plus videos here on this channel talking about the topic of personal and business credit. So, with that being said, I am not new to this. I pray that this is live. Here it is. So, I'm not new to this conversation. So, I want to share a story with you. And the story is going to help you to understand why I said business credit is magical money. When I started my journey in this credit space, it started with personal credit. It started with me having a problem with having low credit scores, dealing with debt collectors. I had a debt collector, and yes, I'm dating myself, back in 98 or 99, I believe it was 99, who levied my bank account. And when my bank account got levied, over $2,000 was taken out of my bank account, and I was number one, I was hurt. Took it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was very emotional about it. I said to myself, how could this happen? How could a private institution or a company just outright be able to take funds out of your bank account? And at that moment, that is when I made the decision of saying, I don't know how this works, this conundrum of credit works, but I'm going to figure out how this is going to happen. And so that took me on a journey of understanding how the debt collection process works. Number one, like I said, I'm dating myself. I'm talking 90. So the topic of credit, I'm not new to this. And I don't say that to show receipts or to flaunt, but I just want to I want people to understand the journey, because I talk from a place of knowing. And that's why, I said business credit is magical money. So as I'm going through life and as I am dealing with the hardships of bad credit, um, we now go into the 2000s, and I'm still having this problem. Of course, I'm reading books, I'm trying to understand, but I'm dealing with this, this dark cloud of bad credit. And so, but we're in the 2000s now. So a bank account gets levied in 99, we're in 2000s. Well, around 2000, I'm working, as a professional. I'm working in New York City, and on my lunch break, I would go to Barnes and Noble and I would read books on credit. This is, of course, YouTube and Google did not exist, so you literally had to read. And so I got enlightened and I learned some things, and I began to improve my credit, but still not at an optimal level. And so during that time, I decided to start a business. And like many people, starting a business with challenge credit. I don't want to say bad, because there's levels to bad, but it was challenged. Credit score was still maybe low six, low six. And at that time, I was not doing credit. So I wasn't one of those people that, although I had a business, I was doing credit. No, that wasn't it. I was doing something totally different. And so here I am running a business, and challenge credit, low 600s. So access to capital was definitely off the table. Didn't own any assets, so couldn't leverage anything. So pretty much, I got to use actual, liquid money, money I have in a bank account, money from a job or what have you. And of course, I get it. Some people do build a business like that, but it is good to have access to capital. When lo and behold, we're now in, maybe about 2004 or something. And I come across information about business credit. And I am like, whoo! I am like, wow. So you mean to tell me now during this time I'm in between being enlightened about my personal credit, I'm getting some traction, I'm understanding how this works, I'm getting results with my own, but I'm still dealing with not a dark cloud but maybe a gray cloud because I still can't get access to capital. And I come across the topic of business credit. And now, remind you, we're talking 2004. And at that time, the same stuff that people telling people now was telling people back then about the net 30s or what have you. Now, the only difference is that the 2008 market crash, real estate market crash, didn't occur. One may say, well, Aurelia, why does that matter? The reason why that matters is because that's when Dodd-Frank was created. So I say that to say, once upon a time, if you were a business owner, there were ways for you to get access to capital with just your business, and a personal guarantee was not possible. Yes, that did happen at once upon a time. There was no, AI was probably in the infancy stages or whatever. There were some things that you could possibly do to get access to credit. We're not talking fraud. Fraud always exists. People always can, have a way to scheme and scam. But there were workarounds. And so I come across this topic of business credit, and it didn't require me to do a personal guarantee. And like I said, during this time of 2004, there were unsecured lenders, hence credit cards, if you don't know what I'm talking about, who would allow you to get access to credit cards without you using your personal credit if your business was doing something. Now, the net 30s were always there. They were always there. So those you can get. That didn't require your personal credit. That didn't require your business credit. But with all that being said, I looked at it as, wow, this is like magical money. Because just like I didn't understand the process, I did not understand what lenders looked for to be able to determine if you should get funding. And the reason why I say funding, because that can be a makeup of credit cards and, business loans and lines of credit or what have you. So I didn't know what was required of for me to be able to get the funding. I didn't know. So, make a long story short, I finally understand what lenders are looking for. I have now mastered, or at least got to a level of understanding with personal credit, and I see that that does play a part. And I'm now putting the picture together. So now my whole mindset is shifted because I'm realizing that is really not magical money. It is really black and white. Why? And the reason why when I say black and white is it's either it's numbers. It's not gray. It's numbers. And so I say that to say that even in 2023, even in 2023, you have business owners who are seeking access to capital, and they are still thinking that it's magical money. What I didn't share, the reason why I thought it was magical money is because I didn't understand the process of what lenders looked for. Because this is the piece. If you want to free yourself, and that's why I say, if you want to free yourself to say, I'm serious about getting funding. I'm not talking credit cards. Like those are possible. They are possible to get. Anyone who has a 680 credit score, and and I'm not talking about 680 with charge-offs, but just 680, and you show some type of responsibility, financial responsibility, you can get business credit cards. I'm not talking about that, because this is another conversation, and I was going to leave it for a separate video. You can have the best business credit cards known to man, American Express Black, unlimited limits, 9, but that does not qualify your business to still get lines of credit, loans, just for your business, in your business name. And I know that that is hard for people to grasp, because people would rather, they would rather accept they rather accept a lie, a sweet lie, than the hard truth. And when you continue to accept a sweet lie, you will still go through life and go through running your business thinking magical money, when it's magical. And that's the whole point of the video. It's not. It is what people don't want to deal with. It's numbers. It's not logos. It's not a vanity email address or a vanity business address. I just, like, I've learned to realize that common sense ain't common. So that's why I always say, and I'm willing to stand up to anyone. You telling me that if I just created an LLC, I ain't got no income, my business ain't got no income, I don't have no financials, I got challenged personal, but if I do all these things you say, get a vanity email address, a business address, all those ancillary things that someone is going to give me a line of crack, a walk, and they'll say, or any funding source, any lending source, and they're going to say, you're approved. I'll wait. They're not. And that's why people would rather continue believing the sweet lies and thinking that there's a secret lenders list, that there's a credit source beyond another credit source that you tap in, and that lenders are going, sources is going to lend you money. And all it is money. If my business is not making money, am I going to leverage my personal credit? It becomes a thing of, a lender or any funding source is going to lend to you based on an exchange of value. If you go into whatever supermarket you go to in wherever you live at, whatever part of the country, you're never going to go into a supermarket and say, hey, I just want to give y'all money just to give it. No, that's not going to be the case. You're only going to, and you want to buy bread, you're going to buy the bread, and then you're going to pay. You're going to just go in there and say, well, I just felt like just giving you all, because you are a supermarket, because you all are in my area, I'm just going to give you money. You don't even operate in life like that. Do you just go to the gas station and say, hey, I'm going to give you money? No. And so that's the whole thing with lenders. Lenders aren't going to just give you money because you hired somebody who created a beautiful site for you, and you went on a photo shoot, and you got nice brand colors and all this other stuff. And what do they get in exchange? Well, let me tell you what they get in exchange. If you want to know, well, what would the lender want? Well, this is what the lender wants. The lender wants to know if you just want business credit with no P and it stands on its own. The lender wants to know source, can your business stand by itself? Does the business have the liquidity that give you this money, you can pay it back? And if you could show me, I'll gladly give you money. And what people don't understand is there's no shortage of lenders. Lenders want to lend. They make money lending. So if they make money lending, do you really think they're going to make the process hard for you? No. But you don't understand that excess of they will put me with the money that I want if I can exchange something in value to them. But most people don't know that, because people are telling people, well, if you want this money, there's a magic way you need to do it. There's a secret lenders list, and you're going to tap into this credit source to that credit source. And so people do think, oh, wow, this funding thing is magical. Like, who's the person who can sprinkle the fairy dust onto my business and it becomes a financial slot machine? And there's people selling people on that. And what happens is you go all around looking for the magical source instead of putting your head down and say, let me find out what it is that are looking at. But I forgot. That's too much work. I'm not gonna do that. Because now I actually have to do something. And I don't do nothing. I just want money. My business ain't bringing in no money. I don't own no estate. I just want. And you will continue believing that business credit is some magical money source. And so many people are selling on that. There's a secret lenders list. There's a credit source to another credit source. And if you tap into that credit source, the money will just be a slot machine. You just get money. And then people they waiting for somebody to close open loops. Somebody on the internet then gave them all these open. Then they're the people who actually do have something, but they're not going to tell you that their process of getting what it is that you see them have, some work. Because that ain't going to be too glam. They're not going to do that. They can tell you where they're at now. Now they own properties. Now they got business generating revenue. Now they have relationships. Now when they do look for, when they do want to tap sources, you don't do that. You don't have a business generating no money. Your personal credit is still challenged. And you don't own no real estate. But for some reason you think that your business is a financial slot machine. And the only way that can happen, and we saw that with COVID, they falsified information to get money. We have experts now who are telling people online that in order to get some money to tap into this funding source, you have to lie. There's a video all over the internet, Facebook groups or whatever, telling people how you can lie and steal. You believe magical money. You believe it's magic. You don't believe that it's black and white. You don't believe, but what I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna leave you with the source. Go to FICO.com. Don't go to my FICO. Go to FICO.com. And the information there will share with you what FICO does to help businesses um to help businesses to be able to help businesses um I had to pause for a second. Financial fraud. That's the business FICO is reeling in a fraction of what it is that they a micro level. Then you know, man, this ain't no joke. And most people are really majoring in the if if you are still in tune in 2022, know how you need to what the vanity address and physical address you have to figure out how to get money, and your business owner, you don't own no assets, you got challenge personal credit, you are majoring in the micro in the you are majoring in the minors. That's said, go to fico.com and understand that this thing is macro level. But it is that finance, and it's because clearly you that clients, and they are putting the infrastructure, the things in people who want wondering. And I know this conversation is not a welcoming conversation. Many people don't even want to face because it's too. They prefer the magical money conversation. But I said in the beginning, I'd rather tell hard truth than a lie. That's it. So that's the whole magic. Know that the title may have been a bit money, but I don't do that here. I tell you real truth. When many people are lacking the are needed to so they business don't have no money, they have challenged personal credit. When it comes to real estate, they don't is that lenders are looking for, and so sometimes they don't even know how to really bring all three worlds together. How can I tap into this magic source? So once again, this is Lorelia. All links will be below. If you want to connect with me, we're watching a replay. Thank you for watching.